All right, I do believe we are live. Um, this is the kind of the pilot episode of Low Speed, High Drag. It's going to be a bi-weekly podcast every other Friday, just to talk about whatever comes up, whatever's in the news, whatever we feel like talking about. Like I said, this is the first episode. We're just going to see how it goes. Not shooting for any time limits, no particular topics. We're just gonna see where conversation takes us. Today I'm joined by Black Flag Nation. What's going on, man?
How's it going? Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, cool.
And I thought,
I got new headphones.
oh yeah, you sound pretty good. I just thought to kick things off, since I do a lot of prepper type stuff on the internet. I do lots of gun stuff on the internet. We can talk about some prepping, talk about guns, talk about news, whatever's coming up. And yeah, just see where that goes. I want to make this like I said, a bi-weekly thing, and hopefully we can build some momentum up. So, I don't know. We were talking a little bit on Discord earlier about, I guess, our predictions for 2021. How do you think 2021 is going to go?
I think the riots will be worse.
Yeah.
And California, where I live, they just gave us our own special stimulus, but I don't think they can keep buying us off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't even
know where they got the money to do that to begin with.
Yeah, because we've been bankrupt for years. They gave us like $600 per family.
And it's your own money they're giving back to you.
Pretty much, because my
taxes.
Well, my state tax here is ridiculous. I think I was making like $1,500 a week, and then after tax, it was like 9 something after state and federal.
Wow.
Yeah.
How much is that? Is overtime though?
None.
Oh, that's nuts.
Yeah.
So that's what, like a 30% tax rate?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's crazy. Do you think people will need less provocation this year to riot, based on the precedents that last year set?
Well, everybody's home.
Yeah.
Everybody's on unemployment. They got nothing to do. Everybody's bored.
What do you think? What do you think the next spark's going to be that starts national riots? Do you think it's going to be the Chauvin trial, the Rittenhouse trial, this recent shooting?
Yeah, because they're talking about a mistrial with him, or a hung jury.
Yeah, I did see that today.
And if that happens, plus that shooting that just happened, it's gonna get bad.
Also in Minneapolis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, to be quite honest, I'm a little bit amazed that the city isn't already on fire, just given the precedent they've shown us as far as how capable they are to just go nuts at the drop of a hat. I'm actually really surprised at how quiet it's been.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be that quiet this weekend.
Yeah, well, I hope it is, but I'm not confident that it is. So if you lived in Minneapolis, what would you be buying right now? What would you be stocking up on?
Probably plywood.
Yeah.
Plywood, maybe some like metal sheeting, just to make sure that my house is a fortress.
Yeah, I hear that. I would definitely say fire extinguishers.
Definitely.
What last summer taught us is set anything on fire. And if you don't have a fire extinguisher in your house already, you should probably get one.
Yeah, they're like $20 at Walmart.
Yeah, it's nuts. I'd say all the other typical prepper stuff too, but you can't really buy guns right now. You can't buy ammo. Yeah, I don't know.
Everywhere's back ordered months. Like all the local gun shops around here, within like 100-mile radius, back ordered like 2-3 months for guns.
That's crazy. Which stuff out here has been a little bit more available, but it really hasn't been anything like it used to be. I mean, I just bought another AR the other day, and normally the FFL I go to, you'll have 20 or 30, and at this point you can only buy, a Smith & Wesson M&P or a Springfield Saint, and they'll have one
Okay,
of each.
yeah, here they have like the real Gucci ones, like the FNs and the Saint, and then they have a lot of AR-12s on the shelves.
Yeah, I've been
But
seeing lots of AR shotguns. I don't know if that's just them trying to dupe people or,
I think
they're
it
just
is. I think they're trying to make it a thing, and since nobody can buy guns right now, they're like, well, let's push this.
looks like an AR. Doesn't really work like one, but no, I've seen lots of sorry, lots of tactical shotguns on the shelves, and I don't. I mean, they're not expensive, so I don't see why they um, stay in stock so much longer than rifles. But it seems like that's all anybody carries anymore. Or like you said, like the super high end. Like I've seen some, some Sega shotguns. I've seen some Vostech Origin shotguns, stuff like that. It's either super dirt cheap or super super expensive.
Yeah, the shotguns they went out of stock like almost immediately, and then I've seen them start trickle back in, and like they have this one from this company called Citadel,
I've heard of them.
and they're a semi-auto for like $300, and they look pretty cool.
That's like
But
a Benelli M4 knockoff, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, like I have for mine, I have a Stoger M3K,
Yep.
and that thing runs amazing, but it was nowhere near 399.
Oh shoot, we have a Cletus in the house. What's up, dude?
Hi.
So me and Black Flag were just talking about our upcoming riot season, stuff that we want to get, talking about the conditions of gun shops lately, stuff like that. I guess to put you on the spot as soon as you hop in the stream, have you noticed on campus in college, does it seem like tensions are higher with like the Chauvin trial going on right now and that sort of stuff?
Definitely not. Nobody pays attention to anything. They're too busy looking at Instagram, Snapchat, pay attention to anything.
Too distracted.
Do you have like a knife at least?
I can't answer that.
No, I mean like I don't know any. I don't know any. Like when I went to college in Florida. And Florida lets you carry a gun, so I don't know. I don't know
I
how.
don't have a knife until April 20th.
I heard that. Yeah, he's in the great state of Ohio, and they're not super friendly to campus carry. So we will let him neither confirm or deny any of that.
Well,
You said,
you can make something called a monkey fist.
Daddy, when is almost here?
Get some
Yeah.
paracord and like a ball
Ohio
bearing.
has. See, Ohio law specifically prohibits concealed deadly weapons of any type.
It's not a deadly weapon. It's a freaking sailing item. It's used for sailing, but
I
it's got
think
a big old fucking ball bearing in there. You swing it and you smack somebody with it.
I think they probably look at intent more than anything else over there. I almost got in trouble in Ohio once because I went charter fishing on Lake Erie, and I didn't realize you couldn't carry on boats in Ohio. So I almost brought my pistol on the boat, and the captain happened to warn me right before that it was a really big no-no. I don't know what we would have done if we got boarded. But yeah, it seems like Ohio, for a Midwestern state, we normally have pretty good gun laws, and I mean, they don't have the worst gun laws, but they do seem kind of backwards in some areas. It doesn't really make sense, I don't think.
I think people
We
are
are
prepping for the wrong enemy, though.
Go ahead, Cleet.
we are fixing a lot of our stuff. Like I said, April 20th, we can now like carry a knife without it being a crime.
That's awesome.
And we're also, our constitutional carry bill doesn't just include firearms, it includes like anything.
That's awesome. That's in the vein of the Second Amendment, so I'm totally supportive of that. One thing that I would be observant of, though, is whoever your Senate Judiciary Committee chairman is for the Republican Party, make sure you're blowing up their inbox, telling them to support that bill, because in Indiana, we just had constitutional carry on our ticket too, and our Senate chair actually refused to even floor the bill and pissed a ton of people off. So if you guys can get ahead of that, get ahead of that.
Yeah, like for us here,
Oh,
we
yeah,
have
definitely.
over 2 million people that signed a petition to recall Gavin Newsom, and yet the motherfucker's still on. He's still our governor.
What's the process with a petition to recall like that?
I have no idea. I've signed it like 3 times because they've kicked it twice already. Like we didn't
So-
get enough, and then we did, and then like the forms were wrong. So it's just a big hassle.
So, I mean, if they can just ignore it, I'm not sure what the point of it is, other than just to be like, hey, 2 million people in your state don't like you.
Yeah, but then like I said, he just paid us. So
Buying your silence with Stimmy.
you know, like I said, what a lot of people. The reason why my avatar is Pepe is a lot of people are preparing for the wrong people. I'm not really afraid of Black Lives Matter or the riots. Yeah, they're misguided, but they're being used as an excuse to push that 1984 totalitarian police state on us.
I think we've had a police state coming for a very long time. I think it's been slow and subtle, but
they're fast tracking it.
Yeah, absolutely. You can't deny, even just on like the technocratic side, how digital policing has become. Like for an example, the other week, it was probably about a month ago now, I went down to Florida and back for vacation, and I went over a bridge, and I got a speeding ticket on the bridge. Never saw another car on it. I passed it at 2:00 in the morning, and
No, they got them cameras on on the bridge.
They have those cameras everywhere. You know,
You're supposed to be able to fight
people,
them.
recording license plate numbers, and I mean, just look at like the push for cashless society. What does that mean for people like us? You know, when your bank can tell your local government every dime that you spend on whatever, and they can refuse transactions for certain places. That's been a long time coming.
But they've been fast tracking it.
That's
I mean, they're
what
talking about.
Go ahead, Cleve.
Go ahead.
That's what the cryptocurrencies are for, because it's not centralized. Banks don't really know what's going on with the.
Yeah, but blockchain cryptocurrencies
You
aren't
host
airtight
your
yet.
own wallet.
Yeah, but they're not airtight yet. You can still track crypto. It's just not that easy. You can still track crypto. It's just not that easy.
Well, like Bitcoin, you can track
Yeah, you
transfers.
just gotta cover your tracks.
Not necessarily why it was transferred, but you can track who it was transferred to.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you know how, and you think the government doesn't know those secrets yet?
Well, that's like people, which obviously gun registrations are horrible things, but people get so up in arms about them. When in reality, if they wanted that information, they could get that information very easily.
Well, gun registrations make no sense anyways, because like I have family in Florida, and you can do inter-family transfers, regardless of going over state lines. So if my family and I transferred a firearm to them, and then they fucking just sold it because Florida doesn't require a registry, well, then you can't track that firearm no more.
No, I wasn't aware that you could transfer pistols over state lines.
Yeah, interfamiliar transfers, I believe, is what they call it. But
Uh,
even if they came out here, it only takes 30 days to get a residency. You get your license or an ID card. You transfer the pistol. They move back to Florida. Florida doesn't require you to do background checks or anything to sell to a private party. No paperwork. Gun's gone. That's how it goes.
what I do know Florida has, because I was just down there, is they have some really stupid printing laws for CCW. You can get in trouble if your gun, not just like if your gun isn't concealed, but you can get in trouble if you're printing too much. You know, if you're just wearing a T-shirt over a pistol, and people can tell that you have a pistol on. I've never seen a state that has laws like that.
But the thing is though, with Florida, I've accidentally walked around a Walmart with my gun tucked, or my shirt tucked behind my gun, and I didn't realize it. And so like the lady at the cashier, like the cashier lady was like, "Hey, and I was like, "Oh shit!" But most people there, or they don't care.
Yeah, I did a little bit of research before I went, and I couldn't believe that. And I think they don't allow open carry. I don't think, but
They do if you're fishing or camping.
just blew my mind. Let's see. I have some show notes here. Also wanted to talk about, so say that $600 stimulus you just got, excluding guns and ammo, what prep type items, what everyday type items do you think that you'd be buying with it that you wouldn't normally buy?
I've been really looking at upgrading like my everyday carry.
Yeah.
Mostly to have like a micro go bag. I don't need something that will have me surviving in the wilderness or something. I'm in the middle of Bakersfield, crying out loud. But something that will get me back home, but still small enough to be like everyday carry. So like if I need tools, I have tools. If I need whatever, I have it. I've been looking at stuff like that.
So like what kind of stuff would you put in there?
Like like a micro socket set, or some wrenches, some pliers, obviously medical. I'd also put in maybe like a battery bank for like my phone. Just the regular everyday carry stuff, but just have a little bit more.
Yeah.
More than just my wallet and keys.
I think battery bank's probably a really good idea. Also,
and a ballistic plate in the backpack.
Oh yeah, that's good. Would you get just a soft plate or a hard plate?
I haven't bought one yet. I used to have a Max Edition Falcon 2 backpack, and it finally crapped out on me after 5 years and 2 motorcycle accidents, and I can't decide whether I want to get another one or if I want to get a different bag. So
I gotcha. Well, I can tell you, I've been helping some other people shop around right now. I know AR 500 has level 3 steel plates for $65 a piece right now, and those will stop everything up to 308.
Yeah, because I have a quick throwaway plate carrier. I won from another YouTuber's. It was a budget bug out YouTube channel. I won a whole like Max Expedition line kit from him, and one of he sent me. It wasn't a Max Expedition plate carrier, but it was like I don't remember who it is. Fox Tactical. And I've had that for years, and it's just been sitting there. $60 ain't bad. I throw a couple plates in there and just throw it on my wife if we ever had to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, I generally prescribe to less is more as well when it comes to like EDC type stuff. Like I normally carry a pistol and a light and a little keychain multi-tool, and that's usually it. I carry a lighter if I remember it, but I don't always do that, and I don't carry a whole lot in my car either.
But this
Usually
would be
my
more
work.
like a this would be like more like a car bag, not like
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. It's not a man purse. Just a backpack I throw in my car when I go out.
Yeah, I've got a bag like that in mine too. Um, but yeah, I think there's just a life straw in there. There's a first aid kit in there. A little bit of cordage and a couple other small things, but I'm not a big like full on bug out bag proponent.
Neither am I.
Just because I think there's lots of weight and lots of shit in them that most people don't need. Like I can tell you, like EDC wise, people always carry flashlights. I've never used a flashlight stronger than my phone for anything for EDC. I've never
Yeah,
needed
I
anything
carry
stronger
a
than that.
multi tool. I carry a multi tool and my phone and keys, and that's it.
Yeah, and like in my car, honestly, the most useful thing I have in there is a entrenchment shovel.
Hmm.
That thing comes in so much handy in the wintertime when people get stuck and need dug out. That's about the only big bulky item that I have. But I generally keep it pretty light because usually I'm only 20 to 30 miles from home in any direction.
Yeah.
I'd have to get really unlucky to be farther away than that if I ever needed to walk.
Well, Cleep is like what? You're like what, 19? You're still a kid, right?
20 now.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're
so
still.
yeah, he had a birthday.
Happy birthday! But you're still a kid, so I mean, your EDC should be like hardly anything.
He carries books,
Yeah.
only books, only books.
Flashlight.
Oh yeah, you have that little Olight, don't you? You want to do like a little mini review on that? Tell people how you like it.
I mean, if you're looking for a flashlight, the little the Olight, the i3T and the i5T EOS, best light under $30.
Yeah, I've heard good things. What's the lumens on that one?
I forget the lumens. It's a few hundred, but I would recommend getting whichever one you get. Get a pack of rechargeable AAAs for the i3T or the rechargeable AA's for the i5T,
Yeah,
because
I was
those
about to
rechargeable
go ahead. Sorry.
the rechargeable batteries, those actually last better in the cold as opposed to alkaline, just because the nickel metal hydride, they work better in the cold.
You just went way above my head there. I'm not that smart. But no, yeah. Personally, I've never had like a super huge opinion of Olights, but if you have one that you like, it works really good. I'm really happy about that.
I like
and
if
like
you
a
don't
flashlight.
have
Go ahead.
if you don't have like $60 for a flashlight, the Olights are fine, but get them off
Yeah.
Amazon. Don't pay for shipping.
Yeah, and one thing I will say that Olight does have is they do have a really good rewards program. I have heard that, and I've heard nothing but good things on basically everything but their weapon mounted lights. So I'm sure their flashlights are probably pretty awesome. And I guess you can use them to start fires, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I
Oh,
heard they
the ones
blow
that
up.
caught fire. You know why they did that, right?
Well, I did hear that they had a different battery in, but I know that they do have a couple that the output is so high that they heat up enough that you can like light cigars and shit off of them.
Yeah, a lot of those are the lithium batteries. It's the same batteries that they had in the it's the same rechargeable batteries they use in nearly everything now. Remember a couple of years ago they were whining about the Samsung phones exploding on planes and stuff.
Yep, and vaporizers, which I had one at the time.
Yeah, just lithium batteries aren't that safe. That's why, like, whatever flashlight brand you get, I recommend getting a AAA or AA, whatever disposable battery version, and buying the rechargeable version of those batteries.
Um, Now, with rechargeables, because I do have a couple sets, just being the prepared individual that I am, and I usually find that they don't have as much output or as much battery life as traditional batteries. I don't know if maybe I just buy crappy brands. I don't know if you know of a good brand that seems to hold up a little bit better.
Some of it is, yeah, the disposable ones will have more life on their own, but there's definitely like different brands have different milliamp hours. Like if you look at different AA's, there's like an 800, 1100, I think. There's a bunch of different milliamp hour ratings. Just get the biggest number and it'll last longer.
Um, Speaking of double A's and triple A's, I just got a Vortex Spark at basically it's like a resale outlet mall. I don't know if that makes sense. It's a bunch of like resale shops that are all in this one giant building. And that Spark takes AAA batteries, and I've never had a red dot that does that. And oh my God, is it convenient? Not having to buy CR123s or like 2632s.
I mean, you could always go the old EOTech 512s, AA batteries.
Yeah, but I've heard those things suck batteries like crazy.
I have
Getting, like,
I have
5
the
minutes
XPS2. Well, I have the XPS2, and it's been in my closet for like since August last year. Battery's still good
See if it
Yeah,
were
because
an aim
it
point,
shuts
you could have it
it
on
shuts
the
off. Yeah, I don't need it on the whole time. When I pick it up, I hit the button up or down. Down is 4 hours, up is 8. And it shuts off.
The aim points, you just stick a battery in it and leave it on for 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard they have like some crazy battery life, like 150,000 hours or something like that. But I don't have Aimpoint money. I had Vortex Spark money.
I don't have aim point money either. The XPS was the most expensive optic I've ever bought in my life.
Well, let's retail on that like about $430.
I don't know. I think it was like 550 because I got it from Optics Planet.
Oh, yeah. Which I've noticed Optics Planet is a little bit more expensive usually, but they usually have stuff in stock. And typically when I buy, I'm an impulse buyer. So I will usually pay the higher shipping price to make sure that I have it now.
Well, I got their op
They
mod
say-
version. It comes with a titanium hood versus the regular aluminum one.
Gotcha. What's up, Cleet?
The Optics Planet, they say they have things in stock, but a lot of times they don't have any in stock. And when you buy it, they'll give you a date and then say, "Oh, we didn't have any," and keep putting you off and keep telling you that they're going to get some on a certain date, and they keep pushing that date back and keep pushing it back. CRS Firearms has a really good video on that.
I haven't heard it.
They did that with mine, and I called them and threatened them.
Well, because they double charged you too, didn't they?
Yeah,
Or
but
something like that.
I went and called them. I was like, I'll come to your fucking your distribution centers.
Careful, live stream.
Oh, not only did they, I think they did
Well, I'm a truck
double
driver,
charge
so
CRS Firearms, but not only
Yeah.
that, they, I think they actually like deleted records or something of his purchase when he started making a
So-
stink about it.
So he couldn't like have them pull the records and be like, "Look, this is when I ordered it. This is the email you sent me," which is stupid because he would have it all on his end. But I guess it's just them trying to cover their tracks. I don't know. I haven't ordered anything from Optics Planet in a really long time. I try and be thrifty as much as I can. A lot of stuff I buy used, especially optics and stuff like that. You can usually get good deals. Or like this Spark, I got it new in box at this resale place for $100, which is 50% off retail.
it took about 2 months for me to get mine.
I believe it. I'm waiting on some armor plates right now, and I'm not confident I will have them before the summer.
I just use iron sights.
Yeah. You'd be proud of this latest AR build of mine. I have that Spark on it, but I have the lower 1/3 co-witness, and I have a fixed front and rear. So best of both worlds, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much.
Although I will say that's only a 20 millimeter tube, and the sight picture does get really busy with the lower 1/3. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's not so
Yeah,
bad when
probably.
you use like two eyes, but like if you're just peeking down with one eye or you're inside, it's just there's a lot going on.
But that's why I like the EOTech. It's put the donut on the guy and it's dead.
Yeah, well, that has a pretty big window too, like probably more than double what the Spark has. Okay, let's see. So, I've been meaning to ask you this for a while, Cleep. Have you made up your mind on what you're going to go after once you hit the age of, I guess, the age of having your rights in Ohio? What pistol you're going to go for?
Still haven't made my mind up because every time I see something I want, they don't make it anymore, or
I
I
thought
know
I thought you said you were going
painted
High
that
Point.
229.
High Point. That was a joke.
I couldn't see you carrying that. You like those cars, don't you? They still make the car, don't they? The CM9.
I don't want to pay for a car.
Well, you should. I bet you can find one used. I
Yeah,
think actually,
they used to be like $400.
straight up, I think my FFL has one. They've been sitting on like 4 years.
The
They're
plastic
probably
ones are
about
cheap.
$400.
Their triggers are so heavy.
Well, they're double action only, but you like double action only, don't you?
Yeah, especially like being new, for some reason it just makes it a lot easier to focus on what I'm doing wrong when I pull the trigger. Can see if I'm pulling to left or right while I'm taking it back.
Well, there's a lot of technical skill that comes with shooting double action only. Skill that I don't have. So more power to you. But it seems like people either love or hate double action only, and I don't know. I'm kind of in the non-opinion camp, but I know there's reasons for it and reasons not.
It's not my preference. I mean, I'll do double action, single action, but I won't do like strictly double action unless it's a revolver.
Well, if you think like most striker fire guns are double action only too, just not in the sense that you think of, like with something like a 229 DAC.
I think a 229 DAC is a lot closer to like a striker fire because the DAC is kind of like the HK LEM, where like it's kind of precogged, so the take up is light. Like pulling the hammer back is light.
Yeah, that's like the Ruger Security 9. Have you looked at one of those?
I've looked at those and they do look pretty cool. It's just when you look on YouTube, everyone says, "Oh, yeah, this is bad. This is bad. Buy this Glock."
Get a
Yeah.
Bursa BP9CC. It has the best trigger ever.
Well, you like Bursa too, don't you?
Who, me?
The
No,
Burst of Thunder fits me really well.
The BP9CC is striker fired, but it's got it's at like a 1911 crisp break on that trigger, and for a gun that's sub 400, like it's amazing.
Yeah, the Thunders are pretty. They used to be, like 5-7 years ago, before you were old enough to even think of buying a handgun. Those were like the best thing on the market in that price range. They were like the G2Cs of like 2015. Everybody was buying Bursas. I wanted a Bursa for a while. I never did get one though.
I carried the BP9CC when I lived in Colorado for a while, and it was good. I mean, it's a single stack 9mm back when nobody wanted those.
It's crazy how that stuff goes in cycles. I lost my train of thought completely. There are two of you now. Do you know that? Oh, you're screen sharing something.
Yeah, the other one, I'm screen sharing this. You should get this mount for your red dot.
Oh, I've seen these before. I've seen people put EOTechs on these.
Yeah. I don't know why he put it on a detachable carry handle, but more power to him, I guess.
Just double failure points, I suppose. Yeah, I don't know why you'd want something with multiple ratcheting connection points like this, but those mounts are cool, especially if you had something like an A2 upper. And I do want to build an A2 gun at some point, so that might be something I'd look at getting. I do love those retro like Colt 4-power scopes and the Colt 1x20 red dots with the carry handle mount, because those are kind of the same way where you can still use your irons, and then you just have the scope or the red dot on top.
Yeah, I like the older, like the classic looking Colt rifles, but I don't like the heavy barrel of the A2.
Yeah, but you could. Have you ever thought of building out a 20-inch gun? Like what barrel profile would you go with?
Oh, I definitely go with the pencil profile, like the A1.
Those are only good for when the trees start speaking Vietnamese.
I tell you what though, dude, I want a retro build so bad. Like even like I consider an A2 a retro build at this point. I love the classic, like the M16 A2 handguard. I think they're really classy, but I really want a triangle handguard at some point. But I don't like the. Sorry, I've been drinking all day.
Brownell's BRN. The BRN 180 has a triangle handguard.
The only thing that I don't like about those is the A1 upper. I don't like that they're not elevation adjustable, because I hate adjusting elevation on front sight posts. So I would probably have a Frankenstein rifle with an A1 handguard, an A1 stock, and an A2 upper receiver if I was going to build one. That sounds like a crime just talking about it.
I want to do one where the original AR-15 was, where inside the carry handle was where the charging handle is.
Well, Brownells offers that too, don't they?
Yeah, they just started offering that. I've been so tempted to build one.
I was actually just looking at their retro 4-power scope, just kind of seeing, and I tell you what, I got some major sticker shock, because for like a fixed 4-power with a 20 millimeter reticle, it was like $450. It was nuts.
That's a fixed power? No way, dude. That's way too much.
But it's built to the original specifications, just with modern materials. I'll see if I can figure out how to pull it up here.
I mean, Trigicon charges how much for their fixed power scopes?
Yeah, but Trigicon also only charges you like $200 to fix it 20 years down the line.
Yeah, I've heard they have pretty awesome warranties.
Oh, will they replace the tritium for $20?
No, not $20. It's like to get it all revamped for the ACOG. It's like $200 or $250 or whatever to replace the fiber optics and the tritium.
Okay,
That's
let's
not
see if
that bad.
let's see if I can figure out how to screen share this. Sorry, I am not tech savvy at all, so bear with me while I try and figure this out. Yeah, hey, Cleve, I'm going to send you the link to this on Discord, and then if you can pull it up for me, I'd appreciate it, because I'm totally unprepared. And it's easier for me to bring it up for you than it is for me to do it myself.
Well, I'm going to head out. It was nice talking to you guys.
Yeah, good talking, man. Let's see. Click.
I'm waiting on Discord to open. I'm on my slow laptop.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how this stream is going to turn out, because I'm on my laptop too. And then like I don't honestly I don't really care if people watch this. If they do, that's awesome. But mainly, I just wanted a spot for us all to hang out, and just kind of have something that's ours because we do have a pretty good little community in our Discord community, and
Yeah,
I just want
definitely.
to expand upon it a little bit. So I dropped that in your inbox, and I was mistaken. It's $300, not $400, but it's a cool little retro scope. But I think if I was going to do like a fixed carry handle, that's probably the one that I would go with.
Have you seen the XM177?
The new the E2, the one that Colt just released, the retros.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, actually, I have. So when those first came out, I was still working part time at my FFL, and we got one of the first ones in on a transfer. And dude, that thing was so cool. Pinned to 16 inches with the faux muzzle brake, and actually, it came with like all the MacV SOG patches from the era. Came with a 20 round fixed magazine, all the patches, a bunch of paperwork. It was actually a really, really cool package. Are you seeing that link?
My Discord is taking forever to open.
Have you been having problems with Discord lately? Because it seems like about every other time that I launch it on my phone, it crashes. And it's been doing that for like a week.
My phone has just been acting up like crazy, just like tapping randomly.
Yeah, that's weird. I've been having lots of cellular data issues. I've been having like I've got like a have you seen those Wi-Fi routers that go in your OS or your OBS port in your car? Have you seen those before?
No.
So
OBS port.
basically it that might
I
not be
mean
the right name for it.
the OBD2 port.
Yeah, the OBD port. And it's basically it's like a broadband receiver and it plugs into that and it puts Wi-Fi out in your car, which is super convenient for what I do for work because a lot of my work is done on my iPad and I have to send sales orders and stuff like that. But I've been having all kinds of problems with it lately, not wanting to connect, not wanting to download. I don't know if AT&T is just like messing with a bunch of towers right now or what, but it seems like cell service has been really weird lately. But I don't know. Like all that stuff is so far above my head, it's crazy. And a lot of it could do with like I know 5G is starting to roll out, so that's probably taking a lot of the bandwidth. Um, but I don't think they leave other people out to dry. At least I don't think I would if it was my company. But yeah, I've been having all kinds of issues.
Yeah, here's the scope. I should be sharing it.
Um, Let me see. I don't see it yet. Let me pop over onto the YouTube side and see if it's showing. Yeah, I don't see. Oh, here it is, right here. Yeah, so this is $300, and I think something like this really would make sense as like a for like a utilitarian AR build because I don't think you can ever go wrong with solid iron sights, especially on something like an AR. But this is a really good force multiplier, I think, and you don't lose the case or the capability of your irons. Kind of like it strikes me in like the same vein as like LPVOs. Just different thought process, or maybe an older thought process. Trying to get to that same conclusion. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
But that is something that I want to do on one of my builds. Probably, I've got my eye on a 20-inch upper at my shop that I think the next rifle I build is probably going to be, and that I think that's something I'm going to do for that one. But I just have a hard time justifying spending more than like $200-300 on an optic, just because I don't think, between like the $200 price point and like the $500 price point that you're really gaining that much. Which you might not share that opinion, but it just seems like after about $200, you're paying more for a name than for quality or for capability. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of times it's that. There's some occasions where it's like the Trigicon ACOG. I'd love to find an actual like reliable prism scope powered by fiber optic and tritium, cheaper than an ACOG, but I've never seen one that's actually made, let alone cheaper.
Yeah. You can always take your chances on like a knockoff, but
Yeah, don't do that.
who knows what that's going to be like?
Yeah. I got
Like
bullied
I
into
would,
buying one. Don't buy them.
yeah. Like I could maybe see it, like if you're just going for like maybe like an M16A4 clone that you don't really plan to shoot. But the whole point of like a prison scope is how bomb proof they are, which I really like the idea of, even if I don't really like the ACOG in general. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I wish there's more prism scopes on the market. I know Vortex makes one, but I don't think it is really that much less affordable. Let me look right now.
Yeah, Vortex makes a few. Primarums makes a few. Now, if you want to go like really Gucci with it, you can get an Elcan.
Yeah, I don't have Elcan money.
The Elcan, if you have the money, is awesome because it has a 1 times, 4 times, and an 8 times. Or no, 1, 3, and 9.
That is nice. Because like I know Elcan, they were selling scopes they were selling them to SOF, but it was like a 1 power or a 4 power. There was no variable to it.
Well, yeah, that's
Which like
because that's how the variable prism scopes work. Is they just have different optical pieces on the inside.
let's see, the Vortex Spark is $449, which is cheaper than an ACOG by quite a bit, probably by about $350, because I think those MSRP are about $800 if I remember correctly. But that's still that's pretty pricey for a 3 power optic.
Yeah, but you got to remember you're paying for having a prism scope, which for someone that has less than optimal eyesight, a prism can work a lot better than a normal scope. I can hardly see through a normal scope.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't know anything about that. So that's a really valid opinion. I just prism scopes, I know generally have a pretty small eye box, but I know they are effective, especially if you're not firing super rapidly. I know when the ACOG was fielded, there was a Army investigation because they were getting so many headshots overseas. I think it'd be great for, somewhere like the sandbox where you're shooting at 3, 4, 500 yards. I think if anybody actually probably had to use their AR defensively in this country, it'd probably be inside of 50 yards. And I don't know. I
That's
don't know how I
why,
feel about poor power for that.
that's why I'm such a proponent of the A1 or some sort of carbine version of the A1, like the XM177, just because that's no adjustment you got to worry about, no adjustment dial. It's got bigger uh, rear aperture for up close. It just makes a lot more sense for anything under 300 yards.
Yeah, I think iron sights are probably totally efficient for that. I'm gonna see XM177E2 MSRP on that. They call it their commando package. That's it's built off a 629 with an 11.5 barrel and with the muzzle device pinned to 16, and its MSRP looks like $2,600.
11.5, I would be very comfortable using that between 0 and 200 yards, but past 200, I'd probably want to find cover a lot more than return fire.
Yeah, that's the Achilles heel of 5.56. I think out of short barrels like that, which I know that they're Gucci and that's what's in style. But I mean, ballistically, I don't think.
Well, when you go all the way up to 20 inches, really that gets you out to like 300 yards. You really don't want to push it past that.
Yeah, I think muzzle velocity on a 20-inch gun is like 3,300 feet per second, which is absolutely screaming for that round, 55 grain.
It is, but once you get to like 300 yards, it's kind of going slow because like 5.56 wounds from the hydrostatic shock, you get that when you go past like around 2,200 feet per second. Around 300 yards, 5.56 kind of drops below that, so it's like hitting with a 5.7 past that range.
Yeah, and terminally, I don't. Yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I wouldn't want to shoot that far with one, even if you can, which I don't think most people would ever have to. I don't think I've ever shot my AR at 300 yards.
That's the
Come to
same
think
reason
of
I
it.
kind of don't like 7.62 by 39 because it drops below that velocity at 50 yards.
Yeah, but I mean, you do have a 30 caliber bullet, which you do. I mean, it's trade offs. You don't have the velocity, but you do have more foot pounds of energy, at least out to 200 yards, which I know that Soviet doctrine was never to shoot really past 300.
Well, that's really what intermediate cartridges were meant for, is like 300 in, because that's like where most military engagements happen, but out in the sandbox, it's not really like that.
No, and I think that's why people shit on the AR platform so much, is because they're really making it do something it wasn't designed to do, and they were seeing the ramifications of that. Because I mean, you hear. Go ahead. Sorry.
I think 243 might be a really good choice.
Yeah, we're both pretty big fans of that caliber. I don't think there'd ever be like a military application for it, but like as a something to keep around the homestead, I absolutely love 243. For many reasons, but the velocity is certainly a big one, because I think even at like 400 yards, a 243 is still doing like 2,800 feet per second.
Oh yeah, and like 100 yards with the right projectile, you can still slip through level 3 plates.
Yeah, I've been trying to track down some FMJ rounds. Most of what's on the market is like 100 grain soft points, but they do make 70 grain FMJs, and I think those would be pretty devastating out to that range.
Oh, definitely. Did you see the Savage Impulse rifle?
I haven't, but I can certainly look at it. Give me just a second. Is
It's
that straight
theirs.
pull?
It is a straight pull.
I'm honestly kind of amazed people are making straight pulls these days. But I guess it makes sense with the gun legislation going on right now that straight pulls might make a comeback. I don't really think that most of that gun legislation is going to go anywhere, but it's a good way to get almost semi-auto speed out of a FUD gun, basically.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, it weighs a whole lot less than a semi-auto.
Hmm.
Because I'm sure you've held AR-10s, and those are like some of the lightest full caliber rifles you can get.
Yeah, and they're still pushing 8-9 pounds usually, especially with a good piece of glass on top.
Yeah, and like a bear, like no optic, anything, an FAL pistol is almost 10 pounds.
FALs are thick guns, though. They're chunky.
They are. Whereas if you get like a bolt action 243 with a 20, 22, 24-inch barrel, it'll weigh 6.5 pounds.
Yeah. I do want to say though the 243 FAL is still something that's on my bucket list. I'm going to make that happen someday. I know we talked about it a long time ago, but I think that would just be a kick-ass rifle.
I mean, depending on how hard it is to put a barrel on one of those things, just have someone make you a 243 barrel. That's all you really have to change.
Yeah, they did make the FAL and 243 for commercial export, but they're super super rare, at least in like original configuration. But yeah, theoretically, all you would need to do is have somebody turn a barrel for a 243. Everything else is the same.
I wonder if anyone's ever had the idea to rebarrel a M240 Bravo for 243.
Yeah, at that point, if you're spending machine gun money, I don't think anybody would, but it'd be a cool idea. The problem with that though is like 243 is going out at like 3,600 feet per second, like muzzle velocity, and the throat erosion.
Oh yeah, that'd
on
burn a
something
barrel.
Like, yeah, it'd burn a barrel out real quick. Like they say, like because I've got that compass, and they say that the barrel life on the compass for peak performance is only like 3,000 rounds before the throat starts to get eroded to the point where you start losing accuracy, just because the rounds are so fast.
That's crazy. That's one thing that I've heard about 308 that's really good is like it has insane barrel life.
Yeah, for a military machine gun like that or a military application, that makes sense. But man, it really makes you wish. I wish there's more stuff out there because, like I said, I really do think that caliber is super underrated. And I wish there was more out there.
That's why I like that. Well, the two main ones is the Browning and the Henry. They're 243 lever actions. I wish they made those and they took like the AR-10 pattern magazines.
Yeah, that would be cool. That's like, well, Henry makes a lever gun in 308 that takes an AR-10 pattern magazine, don't they?
It takes its own proprietary magazine, which is what really holds it back, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of a dumb choice, especially with how proliferating the SR25 pattern magazine is now. I don't know why any 308 profile rifle wouldn't take that magazine.
I mean, maybe because the mags they sell are $50 a piece, but what do I know?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, the Thompson Center is a good example of that. I went with that one because they have 5-round magazines instead of 4, but that's just a polymer rotary magazine, and they're still like $40 that they charge for each one. And
The
I guess
CZ magazines are insane. It's like $60-$70 for the more common ones, and you pay like $90 for a bolt action magazine.
for a CZ.
For like some of the rarer caliber CZs, yeah. Like the more oddball calibers, I've seen mags go from $80 almost $90. It's insane.
That's like SIG prices. Sig magazines are stupid expensive. Like, which I know, like from working in the industry, I can tell you that there's not a lot of markup in firearms, and the big markup is in magazines. But you'd think after a certain point, the aftermarket would step up and be like, $60 is way too much to spend. Come buy our Magpul mag, for $20 instead.
Magpul did that with the Glock mags.
Super, super effectively too. And those mags are like Glock mags are usually only like $20, $25 a piece, depending what gun you have. Like, not so much like in the case of like my 10 millimeter, but regular 9 millimeter Glock mags are still only like $25. And
Yeah, Magpul Glock mags were like $12 last time I looked,
Mhm.
and they're
They're
half the weight.
super inexpensive, which I haven't tried them yet, but I'm sure they're just fine. I don't think, honestly, Magpul's one of those countries, or not countries, one of those businesses that I don't think they've ever really made a bad product.
They messed up on their original AK mags.
Yeah, I haven't tried their AK mags, which like I had a Wasser years ago that came with a Magpul mag, but I only had the one Magpul mag, and I got a bunch of, I want to say I got Korean steel mags, and that's primarily what I ran, but I never had any issues with it.
Yeah, it was probably a later Magpul AK mag, but the original Magpul AK mags had a plastic locking lug. You've seen how mags go in an AK. They don't really have a mag well. It's more like the mag goes in the gun. The mag takes all the torque. So you
Yeah.
need really good locking lugs on those. So the newer Magpuls have steel locking lugs. The original ones have plastic ones, and those wore out.
I couldn't even, honestly, I don't even remember. It's been so long. I've bought and sold so many guns over the years that a lot of them just kind of fade in obscurity, and then somebody will mention it and I'll be like, oh, I used to have one of those, or oh, I sold one of those a while ago. I need to get
AKs
another
are
AK
cool.
though.
They're
If,
nice, especially they have large controls.
Yeah,
I know everyone's like, oh, the AR is more ergonomic. The AK has larger controls. Like in a stressful situation, I think it's a lot easier to rack an AK than it is an AR.
um, I'd say that's absolutely correct. I mean, you can. It's horrible, but like look at the empirical data. Like you can train a 6-year-old boy to run an AK effectively.
Yeah.
And if a 6-year-old can do that, certainly an adult can do that under a stressful situation.
Yeah. That, and they're a lot more friendly to like caveman maintenance. Like if you get a stuck round that's really stuck in there, you can pop off the dust cover and just rip stuff out. Whereas an
Yeah,
AR, if your bolt's stuck back, you're done.
Yeah, kick the bolt handle open. So if you had the money to go out and buy an AK tomorrow, what make do you think you'd get?
See, that's a really hard one because I've been looking at the Palmetto State AKs. The new ones are so nice. They have like titanium, or not that, nickel boron bolt carrier groups, FN chrome hammer forge, chrome line barrels, all the nice bells and whistles, but you can't put tech sights on them.
You can't?
No, they have proprietary rear trunnion. So I would probably want an Arsenal and 5.56.
Yeah. I think I see your thought process behind that. Just the only thing that really turns me off on 5.56 AKs is the magazines. They either aren't available or the magazines that are available are shit tier. But I think 5.56 AKs are super slick. I just wish there was more aftermarket support.
Have you seen the Magwell adapter?
For like a Stanag magazine?
Yeah, 5.56 AK. You just shove in the Magwell adapter, and then you've got like an AR-15 style mag release. You can throw in Stanag mags.
So this is gonna sound super petty, but I hate those on AKs. Like I think the Galil Ace 5.56 is a super ugly gun. I don't know if it's just like an aesthetic thing or just like, you know, if you're gonna run the AK, I do like the Rock and Lock just like for fun factor.
See, I take it back. If the Galil Ace counts, I'd go Galil Ace.
Yeah.
Just because it has the peep sights.
Well, there you go. I'm not a big fan of the Ace. I think they're ugly.
They are, but it's a very utilitarian gun.
Yeah.
But honestly, I changed my mind again. Under 300 yards, I'll take the open sights. I'll take the Palmetto.
What are the Palmettos running right now?
I don't know
I don't
about
even think
right
they're in
now.
stock, but I'll look right now. Yeah, I think I would probably go a regular Galil before I go Galil Ace. It's like they took an AK and they made it heavier, they made it uglier. Which
Yeah,
I get that
I don't
they're
like that
pretty
the Ace is
bomb-proof.
Palmer.
I get super nervous about that left-hand charging handle and that dust cover. Because if you see, like, they're spring loaded, but if you look at one up close, like there's room for like shit to get underneath of them. I just feel like that would get gummed up really bad and impede on charging the rifle. Let's see what I could figure out here.
There's just so many cool intermediate caliber guns now.
Oh, I know it.
Like the Beretta ARX. I shot the 22 version of it, but it's really neat. It looks like space age and cool.
Yeah, there's those are the ones that are like completely ambidextrous, right? And they kind of look like an XM8, but if it was fat. Does that make sense?
Kinda, yeah. Like you can just like rack the bolt back. There's something you push, and then you can swap the charging handle. Then there's also a button you can hit with your unfired shell. You hit the button and it changes which side it checks on.
That is pretty cool. Yeah, I think 5.56 lends itself pretty well to being adaptable in a lot of different firearms designs.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
definitely.
so I'm on the PSA page. Are you ready for the synopsis?
What?
Out of stock, 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 out of stock. They don't have a single AK in stock.
If you click the compare button and compare two of them, it'll show you the prices.
Let's see.
Or it should at least.
I'm going to switch to just Palmetto. Let's look at would you want a Zukov or would you want like traditional furniture?
Probably like the traditional polymer.
Okay. So here's polymer side folder. Add to compare. Yeah, I don't even see a price on this.
They must have fixed that then.
Yeah, they don't have a single AK rifle in stock. That's nuts. They even have a SKU that it's a PSA AR-15 and AK-47 with matching serial numbers. I wonder what that runs normally.
When they were in stock, it was like $1,100.
Well, that's not bad. That's like an M70 price. And they're probably more modular than a Yugo gun. Is it still correct to call them a Yugo gun, or is it a Serbian gun now?
I don't know.
I've always heard them referred to as Yugos. Now, I guess the one thing that I do see is the majority of these PSA AKs have the front sight on the end of the gas tube, which means you'd have a deliberately shorter sight radius, which I don't know if I'm a fan of.
Oh, like the front sight's right at the end of the gas block?
Yeah, for basically all of them, at least all the ones that they have on right now.
That's
Yeah,
strange.
like a Galil style. Also, do you still have Discord open?
Yeah.
I'll send you the link to the page that I'm on. Yeah, they've got some like Vishkas on here that aren't like that. But basically everything I'm seeing is they have one SKU that has a traditional front sight post. Everything else is like Galil style.
Does anyone want a Vishka though?
I don't think so anymore. They were about the best you could get for budget stuff, but so many more things have come out that I don't know why anybody would buy one.
I know Guns and Barbecue bought one. I was making fun of him for it.
I saw that on his shorts. Which, I mean, I don't know. I'd still be jealous because I don't have an AK right now, but I would probably go the Yugo M70 route, even though there's some proprietary stuff. I just think they're pretty bomb proof.
Yeah. One thing that always bothered me was people going, "Oh, AKs have a shorter sight radius than the M4." But if you look at it, it's not.
Yeah, it's about the
just
same actually.
The M4, the sights are just closer to your face.
Yeah. No, I watched a video by somebody once, and they brought that point up, and people literally lost their minds. He literally just flipped the AK over and kind of transposed it so that the sights lined up, and they were nearly identical. Which, I mean, that wouldn't be the case on like a mid-length or like a 20-inch gun, but like almost nobody buys ARs in those barrel lengths. You know, I bet there's for every 10, 16-inch guns, there's probably 2 or 3 mid-lengths or full lengths.
Yeah. Whereas like any AK besides the Palmetto State, you can slap a tech sight on it and it has a longer sight radius than any of them.
Yeah, I might do tech sights if I get another AK.
Because yeah, the tech sights, they have elevation adjustment if I remember correctly, and they sit at the back of the receiver.
Yeah. And the tech sight's basically just like a Galil rear sight, just repurposed for basically any AK.
Yeah. One thing I would want to do if I bought an AK is I would learn to shoot it without the tech sight first. Because I know the guy that showed everyone the sight radius is the same. That's that Reed Hendricks, I think.
That might have been.
If I'm thinking of the same video, he's also talked about when he's had students come and shooting an AK for the first time, he'll have them hitting human silhouettes at 600 yards that same afternoon, you know?
That's pretty impressive.
So it's not like you can't hit with them. Actually, with my eyesight, I might do better with open sights. I don't know. That's why I'll try it.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you'd have to do it. And I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with open sights, especially on like a military pattern firearm like this. Yeah, I'm not seeing any
I know that
M70s in stock either.
I know with the Marlin I had before it broke, I could hit golf balls at 50 yards like every time.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm that skilled. Usually I take clay pigeons, and we've got a bunch of cut firewood in stacks, and I'll just kind of put them throughout that, and that's usually what I do with 22s. It's fun because you get the satisfaction of watching the plates pop. There's a big mess to clean up on the end, but like I don't usually shoot at stuff that small.
Yeah. Well, actually, after doing that for a while, I got to the point where I could shoot 2-liter caps.
Dang, yeah, that's a tiny little target. That's probably what half the size of your front sight post at 50 yards.
Oh yeah, you definitely gotta. A lot of it has to do with feeling the gun too.
Yeah. I need to
Like
go
it's
shoot more.
50% skill, 50% soul. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you gotta feel it. Like shooting a bow. I suck at shooting bows. Um, let's see how long we've gone. So it looks like we've been going an hour and like 12 minutes. That's pretty good. Um, Mrs. Nightshaft is over here texting me. Are you cool with go ahead and shutting this one down?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining me. It was a lot of fun. Um, like I said, I'm gonna try and do this every other Friday. So hopefully we can get more of our friends online next time.
I'll be more prepared next time. I'll have a monitor for my good computer.
Hey, no problem, dude. Flying by the seat of my pants. But yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut this one down. Hey, thanks for coming on with me, and I'm sure I'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right. Enjoy.
Yep, see you, dude.